Our girl is destitute.
What conspiracy theory do you have?
You're the Feyre.
I'm Feyre. He hates Tamlin. He's also a bit of a petty bitch.
And yet, she decides, let me just shoot my shot and see it. I'm like, girl. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello, our spoiler friends, our Surreal Squad. Howdy.
We are back.
We are back. Wow. Yeah. What a month it has been.
Oh my God.
Dear God. God bless Ariel for like being ever so patient with me. Like she had a trip in the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
And then I had just the most hilarious last minute jobs pop up that are great. I'm working, huzzah for that.
Yes.
But it was quite a whirlwind there. But yeah, we're finally back together. Ariel and I even had to like schedule a half of a catch up yesterday because we were just
thank
like,
God.
thank God. We were just like, we're
Yeah.
not going to have enough time to record the pod and catch up because that whole month has like, we've been texting, but we haven't gotten to like talk.
Oh, I think today, because we finished the catch up before recording, and like I think I spent probably like an hour and a half just catching up on everything in New York that happened. Which I was there for like less than a week, mind you.
Oh yeah, but like I need the like hour by hour like breakdown because that's kind of how Ariel and I talk on our own, but that's also just like when we describe things to each other, we like expect that level of detail. So like if we don't get it, like I'm pretty sure if you didn't give me the day by day, I would have been like in a week from now been like, okay, so like I would have like needed more questions. Like I would have like our answers. I would have like needed more explanations on stuff. So
especially because like some really funny, also some weird stuff happened. Like I ran into like a friend of ours from years ago, randomly, which was like so delightful. And then like just other really random weird stuff happened that I'm like, okay, we need to talk about this.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure that like you and I are the people that like if I had a weird situation at the grocery store, I would have to tell you like minute by minute of like what happened. Like I would need that level of detail. But so
this is really the times, like I know we joke that we're Daymati, but like there are times where I'm like, God, I really wish we actually were, because it would make things like we wouldn't have to like plan 6 hours. I mean, I love them, but it's like we could just
I literally
each other's
could
brains.
just I feel like what I would start doing is just sort of like turn on my inner Ariel cam. Like I feel like I would just be like, okay, Ariel needs to be like a part of this. And just like turn on a little thing so you could like wherever you were be like, whoop, hold up. Corinne's experiencing something weird.
I don't know why, but I pictured you as Bette Midler in Hocus Pocus and me as Book. Like the eye opening. You just going, Book. Well, now I know a future Halloween costume we're doing.
Oh my God. Just your face. You just have the book and you're in like a black, like full bodysuit. And I'm just like carrying you by the head, like around.
Yes. Oh
and
my
God. David is Billy Bones.
Oh my God. Yes. Well, okay. Sorry, not to get too sidetracked. Did you see the text I sent you or the TikTok I sent you last night?
Oh my God. No, I haven't watched it yet.
No. Okay, I'll just tell you. It's there's like a sound going around. It's
the what's up and the bitches ain't shit. Yeah.
Yes. Everyone's doing it for Halloween. And it's someone, and like they made the cutest fucking costume for this as Andarna from Fourth Wing. And then their Violet comes in and like starts doing the rap part. I was like, we're doing this one year. And then I'm like, David could be Taryn.
Oh my God.
Could you imagine doing this here?
Wait, but why do I actually feel like it needs to be Jeff and David as Taryn?
Oh my God.
Like they're in like a combo like Halloween outfit. Because the grumpiness of Tairn, I'm sorry.
Yeah, both of them, truly. No,
exactly. Like grumpy old men.
It has to be like those horse costumes or one's the
exactly.
head and one's the
no,
butt.
exactly. That's 1,000% how I'm thinking about it. And they would like switch like halfway through the night.
Yeah. Wow, they're not gonna like that idea at all.
They're not gonna like that at all.
We will make them.
But I really love this idea. Okay, wow.
We got really off track.
Wow.
That's for all the fourth wing girlies out there. So you're welcome.
Anywho, okay, so.
Well, speaking of romantasy.
Wow.
Yeah. It's so funny. I feel like I'm getting to a point where like almost every episode I'm like, we're here, but it's like truly.
Dude, honestly, when we started the spoiler free earlier today and like when we ended it and you were like, well, just buckle up, buttercups. And I was just like giggling to myself of like, we literally say that like at the end of every episode of just like, it's gonna get crazy. It's
although to be fair, this one is like truly next week's episodes are the final trial and like, I can finally say on this episode because I read ahead trying to get
me too.
I'm trying to get ahead of the reading. I literally had to stop. I think it's because we started our catch up yesterday. I had to stop in the middle of Amarantha killing Feyre.
Oh my god, bro.
Like she's like levitating her, like dropping
breaking her bones, dropping her to the earth.
Oh yeah. So I'm like, cool, I'm just gonna casually stop right here. Thank God I know what happens, but
bro, I know. It's actually like really mean. I feel like what we're doing, if anyone is actually following along like faithfully to how we're doing this for the spoiler free section, you guys, next week we have it be 43 and 44. And at the end of 44 is when Feyre solves the fucking riddle and dies. And that's how we're ending the reading for the spoiler free people. To be perfectly honest, I highly doubt anyone is following along with us like faithfully.
Yeah.
And I really think that if they were, at least then they're just going to keep reading. Like they're not going to end. They only have 2 chapters left after that. But I started thinking about the like reality of like, if someone was like being really extra and super faithful to how we're doing this, we're so fucking mean. Like it's so mean.
All I'll say is if someone really is like stopping and starting where we stop and start, I would literally be like, why are you doing that to yourself? Like, thank you, but don't. Why are you okay? Are you crazy?
1,000%. Yeah. Are you okay? Yeah, exactly. Like, who hurt you to make you think that this is okay? No one should treat you this way.
We are terrible. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
I always love that you can tell that we record the spoiler episode like later because we're just so like loopy and like tired. Like
I feel like
it's like when you watch like actors do like their press junkets and you can tell that they've like gotten to the end of their week because the shit that's coming out of their mouths is just like, what? Like they're just doing weird voices and they're saying like the weirdest shit. Yeah.
This is like when for the press junket for Wicked Part 1, the famous Ariana Grande holding Cynthia Erivo's finger. You're just like, what is going on? What is going on here? The holding space, like that is the Surreal Squad spoiler episode.
Absolutely. Yeah. Every time. So thanks for accepting us.
Yeah.
But yeah, wow. So like 42, chapter 41.
Yeah. So basically this is, I don't have a ton for this. It's a pretty like tame chapter considering what's currently going on. So last chapter was the second trial, right?
Yeah. After the second trial, she's pretty fucked up mentally.
Yeah.
Right. Because she's just like, oh my God, how am I going to survive? Or she's more realizing she's going to die under the mountain.
Right.
And she is not in a good place. She's in a really, really, really bad place. And he ends up like licking her tears away. And the anger that kind of comes about, she kind of realizes at the end of the chapter actually like keeps her together. Like it helps her kind of snap herself back in. But then we come back to her in 41 and she is just not good. Like she even says like a permanent darkness settled over me. And like she looks forward to escaping into the fairy wine.
Yeah. She's Miss Little Espresso Depresso here. Like it's bad.
Like, it's really bad. And I think what's interesting doing the reread is like there's certain things you remember about her depressive episodes. Like I remember this chapter because this is the music chapter, right? This
Yes.
is the chapter where the music gets sent down to her. And so like I remember this, but the end of chapter 40, I didn't really remember that depressed, like that descent, that mental
Yeah.
descent. I didn't really remember.
Yeah.
This one I kind of remembered, but it's just like, but I remembered the music portion of this chapter. I didn't remember this beginning of just her like,
No.
I am an idiot and I'm gonna die. And what am I even fighting for? I'm only gonna get like decades with Tamlin. Like I didn't remember this moment. And it's
Yeah.
interesting as a reread where you're like, oh wow, like she goes to a really dark place when she's in the cell.
She does, and it's it's so funny. I was a bit of a little shyster in the last episode where we were talking about Feyre's mortality. I'm like, yeah, unlike in vampire books, like where there's always the possibility of someone turning, as far as we know, that's not possible,
Yeah.
knowing full well what's gonna happen at the end of this fucking book.
Right.
But truly, like I remember by this point, I think I thought about it a bit before, but like definitely by this point during my first read, I was like, yeah, even if she survives, what are they gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, is it really gonna be like he just is with this human for like she said, a few decades, and then she dies, and then he still lives on, and then that, like we said in the last episode, like that doesn't even cover she's gonna age more than
Yeah.
he will. Like there's
Yeah.
a whole slew of problems. We here know
Yeah.
first off, not gonna happen with Tamlin, but second off, like even if it did, it's fine. She turns
Yeah.
Fae, right?
Yeah.
One thing that stood out to me in this chapter, the beginning of the chapter, she's ruminating about all kind of everything she knows, everything she's experienced. And on page 370, she says, she's talking about Amarantha, and she says, after what had happened to her sister, what Jurian had done, she would never let me leave here alive. I couldn't entirely blame her. I doubted I would ever forget or forgive something like that being done to Nesta or Elaine, no matter how many centuries had passed, but I still wasn't going to leave here alive. And I'm like, girl, if only you knew
Yeah.
what's going to happen in the next book. And like, mind you, obviously, there's a big difference between someone torturing your sister and eventually killing her and throwing your sisters in a cauldron and them turning into fae, right? Like
Right.
big difference. But yeah,
Yeah.
something
The
does happen to
foreshadowing.
us. The foreshadowing, and like I think it just kind of made me think of like if we ever do, I mean, she does, I guess, kind of forgive Tamlin when he saves Rhys's life in Akawar, but like there's definitely still baggage there, right? And like it is going to be really interesting to see how Tamlin and Feyre, because like they're obviously going to run into each other again,
Yeah.
like how they're going to navigate seeing each other in the future. Because like even though we have established like Tamlin he doesn't knowingly, it's not like he brought Nesta and Elaine
Yeah.
to Hybern.
Yeah.
He is still
A
part
part of.
of why
Yeah.
they become Fae
Yes.
and like are
Yes.
traumatized in that cauldron. And
Yes.
so I'm curious to see how Feyre, especially if there are theories that Tamlin and Elaine are going to end up together, right?
Right.
If that happens, like it's going to be very interesting to see how Feyre handles that.
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
But the foreshadowing was just like, oh my
No,
god.
yeah, that's so true. The foreshadowing is so real. And like I also just think this moment is, I don't know, it's just kind of like another thing of like why I feel like I love Feyre, of where she's just like, can't blame her. Like
Yeah.
she's, it's kind of like bringing us all the way back to the beginning of the book
Yeah.
when she even talks about like, I get why they're being rude to me. I killed their friend. Like she's
Yeah.
always kind of had this like very like self-aware like
Yeah.
thing of just like, I mean, honestly, I get it. Like, and I just
Self-aware queen.
exactly, self-aware queen. And I kind of love that for her, but I also think that's why this portion is like extra sad too,
Yeah.
because she is a very self-aware person. And then she's having this like, but I'm not going to leave the mountain alive. And so you're
Yeah.
sort of like, okay,
Well,
well,
I think I think it also it's what baffles me in terms of like not to get too into it, but like I see a lot of hate out there on the internet for Feyre
Yeah.
and like specifically calling her selfish. And mind you, it's a lot of people who are like in love with Tamlin.
Mhm.
But I'm just like, she's literally not selfish. Like this is like she is so painfully self-aware to the point where I'm like, girl, maybe you need to be a little less self-aware.
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely. I mean, we've had plenty of times in the past where we've just been like, "Girl, give yourself a break," like we've
yes.
said that plenty of times. And I think many of the people who call her selfish, I think are people who forget
Mhm.
the level of shit that happens under the mountain. Like I
Yep.
just and like I think we're all victims to it, to be
Yeah.
perfectly honest. Like I forgot the level of despair and just shit she has to go through while she's under the mountain. Like I absolutely forgot like just where she goes. And I think what's so crazy, that's what's so kind of wild about the whole series is like so much shit happens
Oh my
that
god.
you like forget kind of where it all starts. Like you
Yeah.
forget we all remember Under the Mountain for like the highlight reel, right? But like we forget the little details. And yeah, I feel like anyone who calls her selfish just like forgets, or almost like this entire book. They like forget this entire book
Yeah.
because the Feyre that you meet in the beginning and then like where she ends up at the end of this is like she
So different.
actually gives her life.
Yeah.
She dies. She does die,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So it's just yeah, that's
She's
all
Faye
I'll say
Jesus.
about that. She's Faye Jesus. Oh god.
I have a big question.
Yeah, yeah. So this is a whole other thing I forgot that happened in this chapter, which is this
Yeah.
whole conversation with the adder and this
Yep.
pig creature.
Yeah. So, okay, just as like a quick reminder, this is like and it feels a little too casual in the grand scope of things, like, for what they're talking about. So basically what happens is like Farrah is like walking down, I think a hallway, and the twins, the shadow twins,
Yeah.
pull her behind a tapestry and like cover her mouth, which is like I love that that's our first hint. Like they're good, right?
Yeah.
They're protecting her.
Yeah.
Because then the adder comes and she recognizes him because like she knows his voice, but then this other creature comes. We don't know what it looks like. She just describes it as sounding kind of like snorting like a pig. And they're talking about the king of Hybern and
Yeah.
how the king of Hybern is not happy with Amarantha. And basically, like this pig dude says, that we'll just call him pig dude because I don't
Yeah.
really know what else to call him.
Yeah.
Basically, he tells the adder, like, your girl needs to stop fucking around. Like, it was one thing for her to kind of like go against Hybern's plans and take her own territory, 500 years ago, or, I guess 100 years ago was when she did that. But like, she's fucking around too much with what she's doing under the mountain. She needs to cut it out, right? She needs to send him aid. She needs to get the High Lords on his side, right? Quite a few threats are made. And my question is, who the fuck is this dude?
Yeah, I have no clue.
Do we ever find out?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so
I
at
would
all. I honestly think he is just a means to
mm,
give us information. Like I really don't
yeah.
think we ever meet this character again. I'll look out for it, but like
Yeah.
I have no, cuz I feel like I would have remembered someone
Yeah.
being described as sounding like a pig. You know what I mean? Like it's a
Yeah.
very like so, dear sweet Serial Squad, if we are incorrect, please let us know. But like I really don't think that we ever meet this character again. And something I also think is really interesting is I'm finding it really fascinating your perspective on this conversation because this is now the
Mm.
second time I've heard you explain it.
Yeah.
And what I think is really interesting is I feel like I read it slightly differently than you.
Really? How did
Yeah,
you
yeah,
read it?
because I kind of because how I well, maybe it's not slightly differently. Maybe it's like similar, but it's just like how I read this whole situation is that it's basically the pig dude being like, "We're ready, right? Our
Mm.
people are ready. Are you guys ready? Are
Interesting.
you
Yeah.
are you are you ready?" Because he does start off with like the adder saying, she'll be most pleased to hear that they're ready at last. And
Oh,
he's like,
yeah.
yeah, but will the High Lords contribute their forces?
Right.
And the adder's like, well, she will if she tells them to. And then the pig guy is kind of like, well, I'm hearing the High King is really not happy about what Amarantha is doing with this girl under the mountain, that like it could kind of hurt us
Yeah.
getting these soldiers
Yeah.
like from the High Lord, from the High Lords, like feel like she's kind of what you said, she's fucking around too much.
Right.
But kind of more this like we're ready to do this war. And like even Feyre even a little bit later kind of thinks like he must be talking about how they're like kind of ready to like take the realm, that like
You're
he's
so
no
right.
longer happy with the continent. And so I feel like it's the pig guy being like, we're ready. Is your boo ready? Is she done fucking up shit? And is she ready to like get serious? This little game she's playing under the mountain is like whatever, but here's the true thing that we're doing. Kind of not like threatening that we're gonna send soldiers to you if you don't come together. I feel like it's more him being like, the plan has always been to send soldiers.
Right.
Is she ready for that? Because this little game she's playing is not what we're doing. And friendly reminder, big guy over there, big High King can take all this shit away from her. He's let her get away with X, Y, and Z. But if she's not going to be there for him a second time, he already lost one war because of her. And so that's how I read like this whole thing. And I think it's interesting that like the way you're kind of reading it is kind of this like not opposite, but it's almost like you're reading it in this way of like in my mind, the thing under the mountain is kind of like an afterthought. Like the pig is kind of like, she needs to get over this because we have bigger fish to fry. And I feel like the way you're kind of reading it is like, hey, this mountain thing is like a really big deal, and we're gonna like fuck you. She's gonna get fucked over if she doesn't end this soon. So I just think it's kind of interesting how we're like both reading it. Like I don't know. I just thought that was funny.
I think I read it threat forward. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I think you did too. Yeah.
Like there seemed to me at least like the threat was like underlying the whole thing.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just because like I mean, obviously I know what happens, but also like to me I think I thought Hybern was like, okay, she's already fucked around once. Actually, kind of twice if you think about it, because during the war 500 years ago with Jurian, I think he even says something about Jurian. I can't remember. And then 100 years ago when she took over Prythian without, I mean, I guess he sent her there, but like she wasn't supposed to take it over.
Well, yeah, because he literally says stealing his spells and taking a territory. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I think that to me read as like, it felt a little mafioso of like, hey, remember that? Like, don't fuck up again, right?
Yeah, you come to my house on my daughter's wedding. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I read it as, you know, or I think it's interesting you read it as like, we're ready. Are y'all ready? Basically. And it really, I think like it could be, I mean, it makes sense to read it either way, honestly.
Yeah, I don't really think either of us are wrong. I just feel like it's just kind of fascinating, like how two people who, I mean, I feel like we've proven we think pretty similarly a lot. And I just, I don't know. That feels like one of those like magic book reading moments where you're just like, oh, the wonder of the written word. Look how we can like, you know.
Well, and now of course my little film brain is spinning and it's like, oh, I mean, this was not, I actually am going to do my directing moment in this episode because it was going to give some spoilers away. Ooh. This is not my directing moment, but now I'm like, ooh, it would be interesting to see like how I would direct the pigman actor.
Yeah.
Like, because I feel it is in the tonality of like how he's saying it, right?
Absolutely.
Like you like an actor could play it either way. And then it's kind of up to the actor and the director to decide which way do we go, more threat forward or more like, hey, you're ready. So then we get to the very famous part of this book, the music, which I know, like I remember reading it the first time and thinking like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. And it still is, but
Tamlin. It's Tamlin. Tamlin sending her the music. Yeah.
But now I just think of all the memes of, like,
Oh,
the
yeah.
Say Anything boombox, but it's, like, you know, like, some, like, funny song, like, you know, some, like I'm trying to think of an example, but,
Oh, well,
like
there was one where that someone had it with Rhysand holding a boombox, and it's
yeah.
like, "Well, your boyfriend's a bitch.
Yeah,
He ain't shit.
that's
He ain't."
that's the one I was like, "I know there's one." Yep, yep, yep. Oh, it's so
It's so
good.
good. So good, yeah.
Like yeah, and so now to me I mean, it's still obviously beautiful, but it's like
It's a little
it's
funny now,
also
yeah.
it's a little silly.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed though okay, so on page 374, she's describing the music and kind of this, like, visual journey she's going on by listening to
Mhm.
it. And she says, "The music built a path, an ascent founded upon archways of color, followed it, walking oh, I think I followed it, walking out of that cell through layers of earth, up and up, into fields of cornflower, past a canopy of trees, into the open expanse of sky. The pulse of the music was like hands that gently pushed me onward, pulling me higher, guiding me through the clouds. I'd never seen clouds like this. In their puffy skies, I could discern faces fair and sorrowful. But I just wrote the note of, like, the imagery of Feyre feeling like she's being guided into the sky by the music is totally foreshadowing her learning how to fly.
Yeah.
Which, and then I put, like, the little emoji of the kind of
Yeah.
face, like, oh,
Yeah.
like, that's totally foreshadowing her growing the Illyrian wings and learning how
Yeah.
to fly, which is
Yeah.
just like, oh, like
Well, but also just I mean, I also just thought about the overall just, like, experience even before she really, like, realizes she has wings, like, some of the first times she flies with Rhysand, just, like,
yeah,
I just she gets such a different connection to, like, the sky later, and,
yeah,
like, I love that there's a lot of cloud imagery in this, there's a lot of, like because we do learn later that it was Rhysand who sent her this music, and it's music very specifically, like, from Valeris and from,
yeah,
and I just it makes so much sense why that would be what is, like, comforting for her in
of
general, right? It's
course.
something out of this dark pit, it's out of this place, it's, blah, blah, blah. But when you know who
Mhm.
has actually sent it and where her life kind of eventually goes, it is so beautiful, and just
Oh,
yeah, her connection to flying and her wings and all of that, like, just becomes such a, like, important part of her, and yeah, it's really quite beautiful. I also had a question of, like, this palace in the sky,
yeah.
because she says, "I let the sounds ravage me, let them lay me flat and run over my body with their drums, up and up, building to a palace in the sky, a hall of
Mm.
alabaster and moonstone,
Mm.
where all that was lovely and kind and fantastic dwelled in peace. I wept to be so close to that palace, wept from the need to be there. Everything I wanted was there. The one I loved was there."
I mean, I think that's the House of Wind.
Is that the House of Wind,
I
or
think
is
so,
it
or the
the
Moonstone
the
Palace.
Moonstone Palace?
This could be one of those things where, like, this was obviously written before, Mist and Fury, where we see all of Rhys's places, so, like, maybe originally she had thought, like, the Moonstone Palace was gonna be where they ended up and then decided to change that. I take it
Mhm.
as the House of Wind personally, just because that is, like, other than the townhouse and then the home by the river, like, that's kind of their main house.
Yeah, I mean, I read it as the Moonstone
That makes
Palace.
sense. She does say Moonstone, to be fair.
I
So,
think it's kind of, like, fascinating, really,
yeah,
like, that we're given this description for this place, like, so early,
I
you
know.
know?
Well, the other thing I thought of, because she does bring up, sometimes if I stared at the ceiling long enough, it became the vast expanse of the starry night sky, right? Which obviously alludes to Rhys. Like, we know
Right.
she's alluding to Rhys. And obviously, it makes sense why we talk about that. A lot of us talk about that. But I think what we often forget is it also, and I'm not saying she planned this necessarily, but technically it alludes to Nyx
Oh my
too.
god.
Because for those who don't know, so Nyx is named after I think it's the goddess of night in Greek
Yeah.
mythology. Um so like, you know, like literally his name basically means
Yeah.
nighttime.
Yeah.
And I mean obviously, he comes from Rhysand her.
Right.
So they kind of go hand in hand. But me, any chance to talk about Rhys, I love it. But I do want to say, like,
I
I
love
think we
that.
forget about Nyx as well.
We do. No, you're right. We get so focused on the foreshadowing being about her and her love with Rhysand that we totally forget that it could very well be the foreshadowing of like she becomes a mother. Like she has a baby boy. Oh, I love that. I hadn't thought about that at all.
And also just in general, the night court being her home.
Yes,
Like
absolutely.
I think there is a part of Feyre, and we get this from her painting the dresser, right? The night sky on her drawer of the dresser. Like, it'll be interesting to see when we get to Mist and Fury, but like I think when she gets to the night court, like there is a sense of like I'm finally home, right?
Yeah.
Like I've never fully felt at home, and I finally am at home. So
Yeah.
it's all, I think, like each one of those interpretations is correct. They're all correct at once and also correct individually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think all of this to say, like, this entire chapter was like foreshadowing overload.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Hardcore.
whether it was like
Hardcore.
the sisters, Rhys, Nyx,
King of Hybern.
King of Hybern, like so much of it.
Well, because that's what's so funny with the whole King of Hybern thing is like I was telling Ariel this like off pod of just like I completely forgot that you have this little moment of hearing the Adder talk about the King of Hybern coming.
Yeah.
Like and I think many first time readers completely forget about that as they continue the series because there's such other bigger shit going on like more presently in Feyre's mind that it's like why would this like stick with us really? Like there's such where you end up later in the next couple chapters, it's just like this is completely erased from your memory. So it's really fascinating with like a reread.
Especially because he is very much this like faceless, shadowy figure that we don't even have any idea what he looks like. So you're kind of like, okay, yeah, like we just got to make sure our girl survives, and then we'll deal with what comes next.
Yeah, step at a time here, guys. You know,
exactly.
Yeah.
Our little illiterate human can only do so much.
She can only do so much
right now.
Yeah,
at a time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then we get the next chapter.
Okay.
Which
is just another. I mean, these are two pretty like iconic chapters, honestly, because we get the music thing that happened in the last one, which is like so beloved by fans, whether it's a joke or whether it's it's really quite lovely what that music does to like save her. It completely saves her. We talk about it a bunch in the spoiler free episode if you guys want to pop over and listen to that. But chapter 42 is the infamous Tamlin dragging baby girl into a closet.
Kind of a closet.
Kind of like a closet behind a tapestry to make out, and just they are moments away from fucking, basically.
Oh, well, okay, before we get to that, I have a question.
Okay, bring it on.
So the chapter starts off, we're at a party, one of the wild parties. Feyre realizes that Tamlin has come up next to her, right?
Yeah.
And they touch hands. We talked about this in the spoiler free, how very like Mr. Darcy, Liz Bennet it is.
Yeah.
My question is, do you think Rhys felt it when they touched hands?
Ooh.
Because especially depending on if it's the hand with the tattoo.
Which I think it is, because she literally says, I wished he wasn't touching my marred hand, that his fingers didn't have to caress the contours of that wretched tattoo. I bet he did. I bet he did feel it.
And that's probably how he found them.
That's probably how he found them.
Yeah, he knew. Some hanky pankies going down.
Some real dirty stuff's about to go down. And
leave room.
Yeah, leave
room for Faye,
for the cauldron.
For the mother. Oh my god. I want to now you just got me thinking of like, is there
Yeah, I want that t-shirt.
Walk with me here.
I'm walking. I'm holding your hand.
Is there like parochial school for Faye? But like, I don't even know what it would be. Cauldron school? And like at Faye dances, right? Do they say leave room for the mother when the Faye children get a little too intimate?
I'm going to say no, because the Faye are very sexual beings. Like, think about it. Like, they are so just like, just They are very sexual beings.
To devil's advocate.
Yeah.
Younglings are rare. So if one of them accidentally gets knocked up,
that's not a good thing.
Some problems.
Because they're making more younglings.
Though? Yeah, but as a teenager,
yeah. But like, are we talking? How that? Are we talking?
We're going to some wild scenarios here.
Are we talking when we're saying teen Faye?
Yes.
What kind of teen are we talking? Are we talking teen like literally only been around for like 15 years?
Well,
or like you're considered a teen in Faye time, but you're actually like 50, 60 years old.
Depending on, I think, which court they're from,
they
age differently, right?
Well, not just court. We discovered it's like lesser fairies and then high fae.
Yes. So whatever teen means, I guess, in whatever area.
I was gonna say, like, my brain, I feel like just like exploded after I asked that question, and I literally, a little voice in my head went, "You don't have the time to unpack this right now."
No, we really, really don't. So we're just gonna go with teen.
Leave room for the cauldron.
Also, I just remembered Faye get their periods like once a year. So like,
bro,
God, could you imagine? Oh my God, now I'm thinking teenage Faye.
Oh my God.
That's a nightmare.
Horrific.
That's like, literally the end of the movie Carrie, I feel.
Yeah.
Like, that is a literal bloodbath where murder is happening.
Well, like, you know how in Twilight they talk about the like the like eternal the immortal children, where like if someone made like basically like a toddler a vampire, how they just like their tantrums would like destroy villages. I'm just thinking about like little Faye
PMSing.
Oh God.
Oh, thank God that's not real.
Okay.
Wow. We got really off track. Okay.
Really off topic. All right.
Although not really, because it does lead us back to sexual encounters.
So sexual encounters in the
Fae kind
in a broom closet. What's so funny? So I don't know, dear friends, if you have been listening like to every single episode.
Yeah.
But Ariel and I had quite a discovery about this Tamlin and Feyre makeout sesh, because as many of you know, this section is very heavily discussed.
It's legendary
because there's a lot of frustration that many of us feel like with the reread cap on of like, this is it, Tamlin, like this is all you've ignored her like this entire time. You haven't even really like yelled out anything for her. You've given her nothing.
Yeah.
And then you finally have time alone together and you just want to fucking bone. Like,
which again, horny Faye, to be
horny
fair.
Faye. And it's like, what the fuck? And I think it's interesting actually as a reread is like, Feyre is like in it. She's like, hell yeah.
Oh,
right?
She is consenting 1,000%.
1,000%. She is like titties out, fucking ready.
Yeah.
Hot to go. Like she is like, let's do this. Right. Yeah. But this whole thing is heavily discussed because it's kind of like, this is all you could do. You couldn't do anything. And as Ariel and I have been going through the book, we've been realizing like, well, Tamlin actually has kind of been put between a rock and a hard place. He actually hasn't had a lot of opportunities to like truly do anything for her, right?
Yeah.
Because
he's
either
being monitored 24/7.
He's being monitored 24/7. It's either going to injure. He's something he could do. He might either make something worse for Feyre, make something worse for Lucien, make something worse for everybody, and also just this hold of his power. All of this stuff that Amarantha has. But Ariel had a pretty incredible epiphany.
Yeah, originally, because before that, we were then kind of like, okay, he can't physically do anything. What about like this? Because we specifically started talking earlier on about this moment, right? And like, could he have not used this time to try and help her solve the riddle? Right. And then I think it was like 2, maybe 3 episodes ago, Rhys tells her, because she's like, I think asking for help for the riddle from him.
Right.
And he's like, I can't tell you. Amarantha literally ordered us. And it seemed like by ordered, he meant like she did some magical whatever to all of them, to the entire, everyone under the mountain, saying, you are not allowed to help her with the riddle. Yeah. Right? Meaning Tamlin can't help her with the riddle. So we're like, okay, we kind of have to give him that credit. And then when I say we had a meltdown, I mean Corryn was literally sliding off her chair. I was literally on the floor. Meltdown.
And if you guys have already heard this part, we're sorry to reiterate, but just in case you haven't been listening to every single episode, I was literally on the ground.
We realized by trying to have sex with her, he might have been trying to answer the riddle, because the answer to the riddle is love. And they are trying to make love. Also, and he literally says, I love you before he leaves. And so when we realize that, we're like, oh my God. Maybe he actually is a better guy in this book. Not Mist and Fury. No excuses for Mist and Fury. But in this book, Under the Mountain, maybe he was a better Fae than we have given him credit for.
Yeah, exactly. Like, maybe he actually was trying to do more than we expected. And I'm pretty sure Ariel and I like short-circuited after that. Like, I actually think we were like, I think we have to end the episode. Like, I don't think we could talk more.
It changes a lot of context about Tamlin. Yeah. Yes. And like, again, this is Thorns and Roses Tamlin. We are not talking the abuse that he puts Feyre through in Mist and Fury. I want to be very, very clear about that, because he was under no one's control for that. But Thorns and Roses Tamlin, I think the big sort of theme of this reread for the both of us has been a lot of the stuff we have given Tamlin shit for in this book specifically. There's actually a lot of explanation, and not just this, but throughout the book of like, he couldn't say a lot before Under the Mountain because of the curse. Like, he was being monitored constantly. He couldn't talk about the riddle.
I feel like even the discussion where you and I end up having of just like how perfectly crafted this fucking curse is. Like, it is just a minefield of fuckery. Like, there's really not a loophole. There's not a, like, it is really well crafted. And it, I say it almost every fucking episode, it's the tragedy of Tamlin. Like, it is just, and I think Ariel and I have learned a lot more of like how true that is for Tamlin in this book. But it just, it really reshapes, I would just say, this moment in particular, because I've had annoyance of this moment with Tamlin for like a while, because as a first time reader, you're like, oh yes, sexy time. Like, yeah, give it. But when you do, or at least my first time reading it, I was just like, ugh, this is so annoying. Like, seriously, like, this is all you're going to do. But now going through this process with Ariel, it's just like, when Ariel made that realization of like, maybe he was trying to help her solve the riddle, and this was how, it fucking blows my mind. Yeah. We don't know if that's true or not, right? Ariel and I are just kind of like hypothesizing here, but like, there's some stuff that kind of makes it make some sense a little bit. It adds up, and it definitely makes me feel a little differently about Tamlin in this book. Like, it definitely makes me, I have a lot more like pity for Tamlin in this book. Like, he just really got the fucking shittiest shit end of this whole stick here. And
like, he went from like his hands are tied behind his back to like, no, he's literally in a straitjacket. That is how tied up he is with this whole situation. Yeah. And I just have a message for Miss Sarah J. Maas. Sarah, if you're listening, I know we've said it a million times, but I will say it again. This is why we fucking need a Tamlin POV. Because seriously, I want this explained. Yeah. I want answers. I want to know his, like, it doesn't need to be like a whole retelling of Thorns and Roses, but I just want to know where his mind was at. And even if we don't get a Tamlin POV book, just please answer the question. If you are out there listening, was this him trying to tell her the answer to the riddle?
Yeah. Or was it just purely him fearful for their lives and wanting to steal some kind of whatever, Like,
right.
I would just
or
love
both.
or both. I would just love any kind of explanation for this moment.
One thing I think you smartly pointed out in that episode where we had this realization is this is Mr. Limericks. Like,
yes, homie knows the answer to this riddle. 1,000%. We have already been told that he like was the king of limericks. So like, there's no way homie doesn't know the answer to this riddle. No, honestly,
look, let me tell you, I figured out the riddle pretty quickly. If I could figure it out, I have no doubt Tamlin figured it out. Honestly,
yeah, honestly. Well, it just, I mean, we have to be a little gentle because it did take a lot of people. It did take some people a really long time to get the riddle, which
I think I mean a mere human.
Yes,
who has only lived
absolutely
33 years on this earth, whereas Tamlin is again Mr. Limericks living
Mr.
500
Limericks
or whatever. Yeah, absolutely. He's gonna have figured it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah. So question mark on if this was just his horny Fae maleness just really coming through. Him needing to just bust a nut.
Yeah.
Or him trying to be like, no, bitch. The answer is love.
Yeah.
Regardless, we do not find out because Rhys. Poor Rhys.
I know. Poor Rhys.
Like, this reread, this is again my first reread. Mm-hmm. So like rereading this for the first time, it's brutal because
Isn't
you're
it?
like, oh my God, like this is like it first off, it feels very high school, right? Of like the guy who has a crush on the girl, then like sees her with her boyfriend, like making out. It feels very that, but then like not only does he have to like witness that, because I have no doubt at this point, like whether or not he is fully conscious of it or not, I think he's becoming more and more conscious of it. Rhys is down bad for Feyre.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Even if he's in denial of it. But then he has to be the adult in this situation.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, kids, break it up. Like, Amarantha's on her way. He then cleans up Tamlin.
Right.
Which is like pretty fucking generous of him. And mind you, he's doing it because he's strategic as fuck, right? Yeah. Like, he knows we're all in shit if I don't do this.
Yeah.
But then, like, the first time I read the part where Rhys makes out with Feyre, I had mixed feelings, but more in the sense of like, I had mixed feelings because I'm like, oh, why am I kind of weirdly liking this? I shouldn't be liking this. And now I'm having mixed feelings of like, yay, they're kissing, but like, oh, I hate that this is why they're kissing. You know? Like, he, in the context of this scene, is Tamlin's sloppy second.
Yeah.
Which is devastating. Because it's like, bro, that's your fucking mate.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, he doesn't know yet, obviously. But like, he's about to find out tomorrow.
Yeah. I don't know if you remember, but Rhys talks about this later.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the series where he's like, I was furious that was our like first kiss. Like, he hated that was their first kiss. Yeah. And so like knowing all of that while you're reading this, you're just like, dude, this fucking sucks. And especially because right before that kiss, she's like, why do you care? And he's like, why do I care? What the fuck? You know?
I felt very much like in Mrs. Doubtfire, Sally Fields being like, the whole time. Like, I'm just like yelling at my book, like, why does he care, Feyre? Why does he care?
Yeah.
Like,
let me tell you, it's called chapter 54, motherfucker.
It's called the mating bond, bitch.
Bitch. Yeah.
Something I noticed.
Okay.
I forgot there's a couple places in this chapter it's actually in the same paragraph, but I think it comes before. For the first time ever, Feyre refers to Rhys as Rhys and not Rhysand.
Yes. I saw that as well.
On page 380, she says, Tamlin was beside her. This is when Amarantha comes in. His eyes slightly wide, shoulders tight as Rhys's lips still crushed mine. Amarantha laughed, and a mask of stone slammed down on Tamlin's face, void of feeling, void of anything vaguely like Tamlin. I'd been tangled up with moments before. Rhys casually released me with the flick of his tongue over my bottom lip as a crowd of high fae appeared behind Amarantha and chimed in with laughter. Like, And what I think is fascinating about this is it's not even like she is calling him Rhys out loud. In her mind, she's referring to him as Rhys. And she continues to, because like I've said, I wrote down, she calls him Rhys 3 times between pages 380 and 381. 3 fucking times.
Wow.
And we got to remember, Rhys established, like when he came to the Spring Court, only his friends call him
Rhys, yeah.
And he said that in front of her.
He does that whole thing of like, because Tamlin keeps calling him Rhysand.
Yep.
And Rhys is like, oh, so formal. Like,
yes.
Why are you calling me that? Yeah, it is interesting. And what is fascinating is all of the Rhyses happen
in the makeout scene.
Well, they happen when it comes to physical touch. So Rhys's lips crushed mine. Rhys casually released me. And then on 381, it's following them. Rhys grabbed my arm. Oh, here's another one. I'm tired of you for tonight, Rhys said, giving me a slight shove toward the main exit.
Yeah, dude. She like
Mama
and this is what I mean by like she knows, like it's a deep down knowing, right? Like she's obviously not
Feyre being
yet.
The she
Feyre.
Here? Yeah, okay.
Yes, it's obviously not like she has no idea that's her mate because she's not even a fae yet, but it's just like it's the type of knowing I think she has when she paints her dresser drawer the night sky.
Yeah.
Like it's that type of knowing, which I love. Also, sorry, not to change subjects, but I just saw a funny little note I read. This is for all you Throne of Glass fans out there. This, and I think this is also why I will always argue Rhys is not a bad guy, no matter what people think. This chapter, I think the makeout scene in particular, made me realize that Rhys is kind of a more sassy / bad boy version of Dorian Havilyard. Like, if you think about it, like, Dorian, I feel walks so Rhys could run, you know?
Well, 1,000%.
And it was so funny. And it just, to me, proves he's not evil. Like, he's not evil.
No.
Like, does he do some bad stuff? Yeah. Read Throne of Glass. Yeah. But, like, deep down, he is not evil.
I was gonna say it's funny. Like, I mean, obviously I agree, but it's funny because the rest of the chapter is basically him doing his kind of your first time getting him fully exposing himself and the plan. It's your first time as the reader being like you've been given these breadcrumbs that maybe he's not as bad as we think, but it's your first time of actually like, oh no, I hate this lady. I'm basically a spy. I'm basically trying to turn against her. Yeah. Like this scene of him coming into the cell after the whole Tamlin, Amarantha, Rhysand debacle that happens in the little broom closet thing. This is one of my favorite scenes of this book, to be honest with you. Because him just coming to the cell, haggard, tired, and just sits down and just wants to talk and get all this shit off of his shoulders. Like, to me, that feels like the moment in the high school rom-com where the bad boy finally starts telling you how hard his life is. And like, how, like, you know, it's that like seeing the soft part of the bad boy. Like, that's what this moment feels like. But it's also it's really validating as like a first time reader, because if you have kind of been going along the line of what Sarah's been presenting you, you've kind of been starting to slowly like Rhysand. Yes. So to like get this kind of confirmation of like, here is literally all the reasons why I've been doing what I've been doing, of like, I am honestly using you to get Tamlin so angry that when you do win, which he clearly then thinks enough of her to think she's going to win. Yeah. When you do win, Tamlin will want to kill Amarantha. Yep. He's like, I'm trying to rile him up so much. Why do you think I drug you? Why do you think I paint you? I want to show innocence. Why do you think I, X, Y, and Z? And also an explanation that he is truly against Amarantha when he's like, why do you think I haven't shattered her mind? Like, there's just all these little things that you get, and it's really quick, but like, I love this scene because this is just a tired fucking guy who it's the night before the big battle, right? It's the night
Yes.
before the big kind of finale,
Yeah.
and he's really fucking tired. And what we learn much later too, after this moment with Tamlin and Rhysand in the broom closet, Amarantha makes Rhysand like service her for like a long time.
I'm so glad you brought that up. So we talked about this in the spoiler-free episode, and like, we've had the same discussion with you guys here about, the representation of male sexual assault victims, which I think is a really important discussion. But something I realized, and I'm curious, this is just like me hypothesizing, because we know Sarah loves her history, right? So, little side
Mhm.
story, but walk with me.
Okay, walking.
So there's a real life story, and actually, I have a couple friends who wrote a script that I'm about to read, literally about this historical these historical events. So during World War II, I forgot if it was in Germany or if it was in one of the other Nazi occupied countries. There were I think it was two sisters, might have
Mm,
been more girls, Jewish sisters who I believe pretended, I could be getting this wrong, but I believe they pretended they were not Jewish. And what they did was they seduced Nazis. And then once they like brought them home, they would murder them. And it's like this badass like story. Like they were like fucking
yeah.
heroes, right? And it reminded me kind of what Rhys is doing with Amarantha, right? Like obviously he's not murdering her because he can't,
Fascinating.
right?
Yeah.
But I think what it reminded me of, and I think
Yeah.
this is like something important for people who don't like Rhys to remember, is like when you're fighting a war, and this is a war, right? Like we don't have the luxury of like always getting to do things like the right way, quote unquote. And sometimes, like
Yeah.
Rhys does, you have to play the bad guy. Like I'm sure these two sisters, like during World War II, like there were people who probably looked at them who were like, "You're fucking Nazi sympathizers, right?" And then you have to kind of go like, "Okay, but what's more important,
Yeah.
looking good
Yeah.
or actually like defeating the enemy, right?" And like that was one of the more
Right.
practical ways, like one of the smarter ways to defeat Nazis, right? I'm seeing this now
Mhm.
on like TikTok. Like I've been seeing girls say they go on dates. Like these are like liberal women who go on dates, Tinder dates with ICE agents to get their information and then expose them, right? And Rhys is doing a
Wow.
very similar thing, but on like kind of a different like level because he doesn't have the ability yet to kill her. But it just reminded me of
Right.
that. And I think that's really important to note, especially because we know Sarah loves history. Sarah's also a Jewish woman. So like I would not be surprised if
Mm.
she actually did know that little bit of history and kind of infused Rhys's character
Yeah.
with it.
That's like a very good, because I think as you were speaking, I was like, yeah, you sometimes you're put into a scenario where you have to just use all the tools at your disposal.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
this was his tool. And I think also he kind of, how do I phrase this? He kind of found a way to sort of use he was finding a way to kind of take his own power back from the
Mhm.
situation that he was like being put into, right? Because
Yeah.
we learn kind of in this chapter that like he basically just gets kind of chosen to be her plaything
Yeah.
because of what his father did to Tamlin's father, who was her ally. And so it's like we kind of, so it's almost like he's making like a really bad situation work for him a little bit, of
As
like
much as he
trying to
can.
almost find like the silver lining of like what can he
Yeah.
exactly.
On the note of it's so funny to me how just casually Reese brings up like, "Oh yeah, my dad killed Tamlin's dad and brothers," right? And it just is like kind of glossed over
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
like it's such a massive deal. Remind me, Reese also
Yeah.
helped. Okay, yeah, yeah. And I get why he leaves that out because like in order to talk, one, he would lose Feyre's trust, but also in order to even talk about that, he would then have to be like, yeah, so the guy you love first murdered my mom and sister and like, decapitated them in their wings and
killed my sister. And yes, it's so casually said. Rhysand, I'm pretty positive he does help his dad kill Tamlin's dad.
Yeah.
But it also is in like response to like Tamlin's family killing Rhysand's family, which I think is really interesting. Like I think it's weirdly telling of Rhysand's character that he's gonna say the part where his family is the bad guys, but he's not gonna bring up the Tamlin portion of this.
Yeah, I think it's strategy in that like he's like, I need Feyre to have something to still fight for, right? Because all of our lives
Yes.
hinge on that,
Yes.
right? And I think that's first and foremost. But I do think there is a pretty noble side to Rhys. Because like he could have told her that the first time she came to the night court. He could have told her that right after he saved her from the wedding. He like waits quite a while to tell her, yeah, so like basically from what I remember, I think he waits to tell her until she's like pretty obviously done with Tamlin. Like Tamlin his family kind of started it first. Which I think is really noble.
Yeah. I mean, I also wonder if a big part of it is just because it's like really painful for him to talk about his sister.
True.
And for him to talk about like his mom and stuff like that. Like that feels, and I think also like as we kind of spend more time with Rhysand throughout like the books, Rhysand is definitely more comfortable thinking about himself as like a monster than he is thinking about himself as like a good guy.
Yeah.
So I also think there's a level of it there where it's just like more comfortable for him to just be like, yeah, we were the bad guys and just like move on. Cause also he's been playing a particular role for a very long time. So I also think there's an instinct aspect here that he has trained to go a particular way. And it is to go towards the villainous, like about when it comes to like stories that he's telling and stuff like that, I think there's instinctual actions that Rhysand does that kind of expose him for that he's actually not a bad guy.
Right.
But yeah, no, I think it is pretty noble because I do actually, I do think Rhysand feels bad for Tamlin. Like I really do.
Yeah, he does. And like, I think a lot of us forget, like they were bros back in the day.
Yeah, they were
like,
friends.
Rhys trained Tamlin as a warrior. Like, which, oh my God, you know what I'm realizing? He probably trained him in the Illyrian style then. Which, like, for someone who isn't an Illyrian, that's pretty fucking big. Yeah.
Which I also then wonder, okay, here's what I wonder. Do you think that's during, because you know how there are those years that Cassian, Azriel, and Rhysand were like separated, like they were all in different.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if that was when he trained with Tamlin, because I'm kind of like, if that wasn't when he trained with Tamlin, then it would mean that he was probably friends with Cassian and Azriel at one point. If that was when they were all together. But I wonder if that was because it was like right after they all got out of their training camp. Yeah. They were like separated into different groups.
I can't really see. Maybe I can't see Cassian.
Not at all.
Not Tamlin's bullshit. Not at all. Could you imagine Tamlin and his little fucking dirty limericks? And Cassian's just like, oh my God. Like, although actually, Cassian, that might bring Cassian.
I feel like Cassian would actually that would probably be the only portion of Tamlin that he liked.
Yeah, there's some like legendary limerick out there about Cassian's big schlong that Tamlin wrote.
That Tamlin wrote. That like Cassian's just like, thanks, bro. Like that's why I won't kill you on sight.
Yeah. But Az would actually probably get annoyed with the limericks.
Probably. He'd probably absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, all that is to say,
as I say, I think that wraps it up, man. Like,
yeah, I mean, I think just like I'm glad that we're kind of finally at this portion where we're like starting to view we can comfortably start actually saying that we like Rhysand in the spoiler-free portion. So that's kind of nice.
You know what's so funny is I've noticed that like as we've done more episodes with him in them, you know, talking under the mountain stuff, you've started calling him Rhysand more lately than Rhys.
Yeah.
Because we've had to call him Rhysand in the spoiler-free episodes.
I know. And now I can't like switch back. I was just noticing that during this episode too. I was like, wait, I can call him Rhys now. And like I trained myself so well. Yeah.
I know, it's so funny. I love it. Like
what a time.
What a time. All right. So next week, the big old climax of this almost said film of this book. We're doing chapters 43 and 44, the final test. Strap in because it's rough. Yeah, as I said, I'm in the middle of Feyre getting her ass completely pulverized. So yay. In the meantime, we'd love it if you rated, reviewed, and subscribed to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. The more we get out there, the more of us you'll see, honestly. So get your friends, get your enemies listening to us, get everyone listening to us. Spread the good word of Sarah J. Maas and the Cauldron. You can also follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and Blue Sky at Cauldron Save Us Pod, and you can email us at cauldronsaveus@gmail.com. We're so close. We are so close.
So close.
And then we're on to, I believe, both our favorite book.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna take a pretty
we're gonna do a little hiatus. Yes.
Yeah. But then it'll be I think Mist and Fury. Although I don't know.
It's a tie for me between Mist and Fury and Silver Flames.
It's a tie. It's pretty hard. Yeah. Well,
original trilogy for sure.
There it is. Yep, exactly. As always, friends, thanks for coming along for the ride, and you're welcome.
And we're sorry. Also, save room for the Cauldron.
Save room for the Cauldron, guys. Leave space for the Cauldron.
Bye.
Bye.